Okay, so today's project is going to be for women, probably mothers, who are feeling completely completely like this. Like they just need to curl up and protect themselves from the world and from the craziness that's going on and from the demands of motherhood or life. And we are going to take some time to think about what burdens are doing this to us. And we're going to honor them because through these burdens we will grow. It just doesn't feel like it at the minute. So, I've been here. I know this feeling very, very, very well. I have come through these phases, and these phases have helped me become who I am today. So we are going to take a little bit of time just to honor this with a bit of an art therapy piece, which we'll do together. So the first thing we're going to do is sketch out some version of this. And how do you do that? It's pretty straightforward, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do it. We're going to draw a line right down the middle here, and we're going to draw a line right there. And then I'm just going to segment this one again, and segment this one again, and segment this one again, and segment this one again. And what we are looking at are just some key landmarks. So I'm going to eyeball it. Helps that there's a piece of wood supporting wood underneath here, and I'm just going to eyeball that. And I'm going to look at, here's my middle, here's roughly my middle. I'm going to come up a bit from my middle, and I'm going to pop that landmark in. Okay. The top of the knee is almost to the middle in the middle, so we're going to go into the middle and middle of that quadrant there, roughly like that. Okay, so now I've got that one and that one. The bottom of the bum is going to be in roughly the middle of, this is one quadrant, it's going to be roughly about here. Okay, so we've got that one. Where the back meets the top of the blanket there, we're in the middle of that quadrant and about halfway down. So let's go to the middle of that quadrant and about halfway down. So we're talking about something like that. So we've got that. So let's just start by putting those things in and see how well we do. So we've got the top of the blanket coming like that. Doesn't quite come to the midline and comes down. Okay, give you guys a sec to do that. Bum kind of wraps around like this, down to about this point. We're just doing some loose lines here. Okay. And then just kind of comes up. We have a crease there, which then I've done something wrong, you see, because that is that point, and at the minute I'm there. Oh, that's fine. Oh no, it's not going to be fine. It's going to make it too high, which means we need to bring this down lower, and then follow that line. So what we've got is a blanket that's a little bit like this. That's cool. This is going to very much play into the concept I want to work with here. The top of that knee is there. Notice how I'm doing very, very kind of almost sort of straight down, and that foot, that heel is roughly at the midpoint. That's coming roughly straight down. That blanket. Okay. And then we've got the legs. Now, human form is not my strong point, and that's not why we're doing this. We're doing this because we're honoring a part of ourselves. Okay. We're not looking for anatomically correct anything, although her thighs are looking a little, or her calves are looking a bit chunky, so let's take that in a bit. And she's curled up right into here, and her shoulder is coming up. Yeah. Her arm is coming down to there, so that blanket is actually like completely in the way. And then we've got this here. Now hopefully you're cocking this up a little bit less than I am, because I'm not actually following my lines very well. And the shoulders are coming more forward. And then we've got this, the head, this sort of sense of a face and an ear. And then we've got the hair. Our head is up there, we've got the hair everywhere. And then we've got the blanket that's coming down. Alright. Now she's wrapped up. She's wrapped up in this blanket. Now, I would say that I have some lines I might want to get rid of with a bit of an eraser if I can. Like, where I completely screwed up some of the lines. So, let's see if we can get rid of, like, the chunky calves, maybe. Should we try to erase that a little bit? Then we'll put that, the suggestion of that other one in there. I would say we can get rid of the thigh lines underneath the blanket. That thigh is not looking very, like, substantial, so I suppose we can get rid of that. Probably don't need quite so many of these. Alright, quite so many of these lines. You carry on with your drawing. I hope this makes you... We're not worried too much here. What we want is we want a general shape, don't we? A general shape that... General female shape that pleases us. That captures that emotion, you know, of being curled up and alone and defeated and maybe even hopeless, feeling quite helpless. I don't really want to put the suggestion of a face in here. I kind of want the hair to just be everywhere. Do you know what I mean? When we start trying to get into faces, I'm probably going to start stressing, and this is supposed to be something to help reduce a bit of stress rather than create more stress. We just kind of want to honor a little bit. I want to see more of that arm, which means I'll just want to bring this blanket down a bit more. Kind of more in line with the lines that really I should have had to begin with. Bring this down. So you just work on your drawing a little bit. You can see that you don't need to worry about perfection or getting anything right. You're just trying to get a sense of something. Now, I think if I weren't filming, I would have done a much better job of this because I've really managed to cock this up quite well. But I'm sure you don't mind. I'm sure you're just quite happy that we're going to do this little project together, and at least I'll just tell myself that. All right, now let's see where we're at. Now I'm sitting on the floor of my studio, and I welcome you also to just get into a nice, cozy, comfy space somewhere. She's looking like she has some cankles here, so maybe I'm just gonna thin that out a little bit. This girl is supposed to be me, and I don't have cankles at this stage in my life, so I think we will get rid of that. Just still looking a bit too chunky as well through here. I've actually got reasonably slender legs, so let's try to downplay that chunkiness, shall we? All right. Now, hopefully you've done a better job than me on this. Don't go for any lines that are straight and perfect, because nothing in life is straight and perfect. You want this to look very, very sketchy, very much like this. Okay. So, this is our first step. And for some of you, if you're not used to drawing, this step alone will be really, really daunting and might even cause you some grief. So what we're going to do is we're going to just pause this video here, and that will give you some time to finish your drawing and get it to a point that you're happy with. But actually, before I finish the video, what I'm going to do is show you how you know you're at your end point. So you know you're at your end point with this when you can come along. I've got this really big, nice jumbo marker that I picked up at a dollar store actually in Canada, but I think you can pick these up in, loads of different places, or you can just use Sharpie or a nice thick black marker. But I'm kind of thinking, maybe, do we even want this? I don't know. Maybe you can decide what style you want. I think actually I'm going to reserve judgment on this until I see how the piece goes. So I'm not going to put this marker on right now. Okay? But I might end up doing it. Let's see. What we want to do is we want to honor her. We want to honor this version of ourselves. Sometimes we feel like we need to get out of this state when actually what we need to do is sink into this state, because it is trying to teach us something. Okay. So when you get your drawing the way that you want, come back. Let's go to the next video and we will do the next stage. Are you kidding me? Together. You kidding me? I somehow bumped the camera.